Fleshy necrophiliac.
There you go. It's a new fragrance by Dallas.
Hey, get in here. Dallas is about to start.
Welcome to the Ewing Barbecue, where we are going to play Pin the Tail on the Ewing. My name is Mary.
And I'm Sarah.
What's that?
Who's missing?
My God, I'm Melanie, and
It's the sound of silence.
Josh is not here. So,
Josh is
He's
not here
missing.
joining us for tonight. He's off at camp. So it's just the ladies tonight.
it's late at night.
Josh is not joining us tonight. He did actually record himself responding to a lot of this episode, and I was going to cut it in, but it might be weird.
And I'm Josh, live from the Southern Cross helicopter of the Cotton Bowl in Dallas.
See, isn't that super weird? I have no idea, but we're going to give it a shot. So, welcome to the Ewing Barbecue. Okay, I'll do a quick shout out to our Patreon members: Brendan Fillick, Captain America, Sheen Pye, Laura Bernheim, Brad Mulholland, Anita Wren, and Kristen Carlano. Thank you.
Thank you.
So like I said, we're going to cut Josh's comments in here and there, but if you'd like to listen to all of them, you can head over to patreon.com and listen for free. You don't even have to have a membership, subscribe to us or anything. We'll have that up there hopefully within the same week for you to check out. So, you know, if you feel like you want to hear Josh's take,
That's
check
actually
it.
a really good idea.
We haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't heard it yet, so we don't know what he said.
I actually have not listened to it yet because I was gone all weekend pretending I was 19.
Yes,
we
we're
had
adorable.
a big get-together at my university where we all all the people from the 90s and the early 2000s got to go like stay in the dorms again.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
And
Like, I
then,
wish I
like,
could do that.
Just like we were just like drinking and hanging out and going to the bar and it was fantastic. I hardly slept, so I'm half dead right now. But and I also did not listen to anything Josh sent me. So sorry, Josh. Sorry, everyone.
Did you introduce anyone to the Jameson Pickleback Alabama?
Okay, so I was going to. I bought things for shots in my room. I had the Jameson and the Pickleback. I had a whole thing of juice and then pickle juice, and then I was also going to do peanut butter and jelly shots, which is screwball peanut butter with grape juice. And so I asked my husband because I was going to buy the alcohol in my college town, so we brought all the money into the town because it's a small town.
Yeah.
And he went to get it. I wasn't getting his text that he was in the parking lot. So he got someone to help him carry a bunch of shit in, and she dropped my bottle of Jameson all over the floor and broke it. And the whole weekend she was like, I'll buy you another bottle. And then she never did because she was drunk all weekend too. So we just drank the whole bottle of Screwball whiskey, and I brought home a jar of pickle juice. So,
But then you have it for next time.
Yeah, but for next time, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Cool.
So, what are we drinking? Are we
I'm
drinking?
trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah,
I'm drinking. I'm drinking strawberry Abita, which is from Louisiana. It's so good. It's refreshing.
I've had that before, actually, believe it or not. Melanie has the fancy glass. Is that the one I see?
It's
That's
the
the one I
Oversoul
see.
Brewing. Woo,
Give 'em a
it is
shout out.
the Oversoul Brewing glass. The tulip. Thank you, dear.
In Helena, Alabama, which is about 3 minutes from my house. I could walk there, but I'd be too tired.
It's too hot, right? So
Birthday, Kelly Sloan. She is Linda Gray's daughter, who played Kelly, her secretary. Celebrates her birthday August 14th. She was born 1966, so that she'll be 56. And on August 8th, 2005, that was 17 years ago, Barbara Bel Geddes passed away.
You could do this part, but let me tell you this. I went, and since you have your ding ding bell, I was going to get something.
yeah.
And so I was going to get one of those, this horn, like the clown horns. And I was so excited tonight to do it whenever I said this aired on.
Yeah.
My birthday. But I left it in my office.
Oh,
so
God damn it.
I might just, we can just find a sound clip of it this time, but I have it. I went to Party City and bought one just so I could go, wow, wow, wow.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
I wrote the date down and was like, this is something. What is this? But it's your birthday.
November
That's fine.
27th, 1981.
78. The year it was,
the air date of the show.
Yeah, 81.
Because I remember your birthday's the day before my mom's. Which,
Oh, yeah. I did know that, actually.
So today we're talking about season 5, episode 8, episode 85 of the series, The Split.
Dun, dun, dun.
I thought maybe we could do some business together.
What business could we possibly do together?
How about pin the tail on the Ewing?
It's J.R. Ewing here.
So?
I'd like to meet with you. Sit down, talk a little.
There's nothing to talk about.
Are you free to meet with me?
When I was on top of that building, I didn't even realize where I was. Everything just felt empty. I can't give birth to my own child. I can't adopt.
How long you think she's going to stay with a sexual washout?
You are a disgusting man, Ewing. You think I don't realize what kind of cheap trick you're pulling here?
Maybe a trick, but it's certainly the truth.
It was written and directed by Leonard Katzman and aired November 27th, 1981.
My birthday! I love when the show falls on my birthday.
4th birthday, right? That's the correct math?
That was my
4th birthday.
3rd. I was 78, right? Yeah.
Do you know what year you were born?
80, 81. 3. Okay, 3rd birthday.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay.
I don't math very well, so.
No, me either. That's why I was like, oh my God, I've been wrong all these years.
Now, Mary, you're 10 years older than me, right?
Yeah, I'm 76. I'm a
January 76?
bicentennial baby. Yeah, January 76.
Okay.
All right. So also, oh God, this is actually a little sad. And so the number 1 Billboard hit in the U.S. was "Physical" by Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, Olivia Newton-John.
Oh my God.
Who died yesterday.
I started crying last night.
I mean, love her. Love her.
I
And I have to
too.
tell you, like Xanadu, I understand it's not a great movie, but I still fucking love it.
I do too. It's just cult class. Like, it's just awesome.
like
It's
Grease
just,
is.
just
Her,
yeah.
she's wearing in that movie knee-high roller skates, which I just like, that is bucket list. Like, if I could ever find knee-high roller skates,
I don't think I've ever seen them on anyone else. I don't think.
I don't think so. Yeah. So cool. She's an OG cool girl.
Yeah, I mean, that's really sad. It's like, that's just like a, and they put it on the news. I didn't write it down, but that, like the Facebook or the Twitter thing that John Travolta wrote to her. It was like, love you forever, something, you're John. Oh my God, I'm going to start crying.
You're Danny, you're John. I'm like,
yes, I just got chill bumps.
Oh.
I know. It's like a legend's gone.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, for sure.
a lot of her stuff got overshadowed by other things going on in this country yesterday.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
I mean,
yeah.
Good for that, but still, it was like, Olivia Newton-John, no! And then all of a sudden, it was like an influx of other shit.
I didn't even hear about it until the afternoon, like the evening news. That's how out of it I was yesterday.
My friend texted me.
I found out pretty soon, like probably within 15 minutes of when the AP or whoever picked it up.
And then we also lost Teresa.
Rosanna Christensen.
Oh my
Dallas,
God, that's so
right?
sad too.
Rosanna Christensen.
Yeah.
And you know, that was that was one of 3 of the autographs I got at the 30 year, the day I met you, Mary.
Oh, wow.
I was on my
That's
TV
so
guide.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, that's really sad.
I know. And we were just talking about her.
Yeah, we also have an interview. Josh had an interview with her from a few years ago, so I will edit that together and put that on our Patreon as well. So check that out. So also this week, the number 1 film was Time Bandits. Again, I guess this was a really popular film.
I've never seen it.
With directed by Terry Gilliam, starring Sean Connery, Shelley Duvall, and John Cleese. Yeah, I've never seen it either. But.
Okay, so it's not just me. All right.
You said John Cleese?
No. Okay, and yeah,
Monty Python.
yeah, John Cleese. Yeah.
Python.
Well, yeah, it's also Terry Gilliam, so it's hot
as fuck here. I'm sorry.
News stories this week. After 45 years, the files for the missing Lindbergh baby were released.
Wow.
So that happened. A typhoon Irma swept the Philippines, and the Declaration on the Elimination of All Forms of Intolerance and Discrimination Based on Religion or Belief was adopted by the General Assembly as UN Resolution 36/55. And the Senate of Spain voted to join NATO. So... big news in 81.
It's about to be Wall Street and cocaine coming on.
Oh, yeah.
Casting notes from this episode: Barbara Stock played Bermuda Chamber of Commerce staffer Heather Wilson. Later played Liz Adams in seasons 12 and 13. This episode dropped to number 2 in the ratings for the week, and it features a return appearance by Gary and Valine. And editor Fred W. Berger received 2 award nominations for this episode. Outstanding Film Editing for a series, and the American Cinema Editors Eddie Award for Best Edited Episode from a Television Series. God, that is a mouthful. Jared Martin loved this episode because of the entire Cotton Bowl scene with the helicopter ride, and he talks about an interview with it's ambitious because of its gutsy logistics. All elements had to be in place, and the chopper had to arrive on time and touch down at the exact right spot. The light had to be constant, no wind, Larry in the right spot, cameras rolling, and in focus, and if either actor came up dry, all the elaborate step-by-step mechanics would have to be repeated. So it was a real testament to the filming crew and everyone for getting that right. But Jared Martin was quite fascinated by the entire helicopter ride, and he spent most of his time trying to hold on to his lines. And this episode also marked the falling out between JR and Afton, and Audrey Landers proclaimed that she was the only mistress to ever have dumped JR. But that was a first. She was the first, because there were subsequent mistresses that would follow, and Audrey loves playing that part. And that's all of the housekeeping and notes.
All right, but on Dallas, we open on South Fork.
Yeah, I find the opening shot of South Fork to be a little weird. I don't know if anyone noticed that. It just looked like it was something odd. Stage set I don't know if it struck anyone else as odd, but...
With JR, the Republican, and Ray, the voice of reason.
Most definitely.
Oh my God. Because even that was what struck me. He said something about not caring about the economy.
Right. He's like, well, it's good for Ewing Oil, so whatever.
Miss Ellie was like, that's a dreadful thing to say. I'm like, have you met him? Like,
I know. Is this news to you?
Have you met your son?
Right. I mean, shit. Yeah, Donna.
Because even though they don't name any politics on this show, I feel like Donna seems like a really conservative Democrat. And I mean, JR's obviously Republican. So yeah, she's like, it's good for the economy. Like the price of gas going down. And
I think I'm like Donna. I call myself a conservative liberal, if that's possible.
It is possible. It's totally possible.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
I'm a liberal. Yeah.
Which is really fine with me too. I'm kind of swinging more that way anyway.
Might deserve the trash bell for that, because that was a dreadful thing to say.
Oh, it was. So yes.
And that means we should just go ahead and drink too.
I wish we all had a trash bell. So then, if you you guys should get trash bells as well. And then
I have one in my Christmas box upstairs. This is Ring It for Santa.
Donna and Ellie, of course, leave for the decorators. I assume they're still decorating Pam's room with this furniture, because they need to go out and go shopping, of course, for that. Meet with the decorator.
So then we got to Southern Cross, where this random dude in a suit is like, we should lay off 500 more people. And Clayton's like, nah, dude, we can just wait. Like, we're going to wait it out. We're going to be cool to our people. And, And the guy thinks he's dumb for doing that. But, this is where this is our Clayton right here. He's caring about his people. And this is the difference it's really showing the difference between JR, who's like, I don't give a shit about anyone but me. And then
even Jock. Even though they don't make Jock as bad as JR, you're still seeing the two totally different family dynamics, the head of the household, and, which makes things in the future even weirder, but,
Clayton's not going to give in to blackmail. Well, we know that much. And
even Sue Ellen's like, you can't let this happen because of me. And he's like, chill, baby. It'll all work out.
That's funny.
Well,
I'm paraphrasing.
Chill,
but
baby.
He's basically saying,
he said chill, baby.
Chill, baby.
He reminds her that not only is he feeling the pinch, but JR is sitting on all that oil, so he's going to be dealing with major financial situation as well if he doesn't unload that oil, as the price is continuing to drop.
So we cut to Brook Tree, where Pam is actually in therapy.
She is.
It's kind of still against her will, though, right? Like, she doesn't really want to go, but they're like advising her to.
Look, I think she has to because she's in there, and so she has to go to therapy, and she's trying to get her to talk about, like, why do you have this emptiness inside of you? And I don't know, it just it's more like talking about like Pam just being really depressed, and I feel like have we tried meds? Have we tried, like, honestly, have they tried putting her on an antidepressant and anti-anxiety?
What did they have back then?
Even a Quaalude.
Quaaludes, yes.
Just knock her ass out or get her horny or something.
I mean, she obviously has childhood trauma, but she also could be like just having an hormonal imbalance or whatever that she just needs a little help with.
What were the options back then for antidepressants? And I mean, because I know lithium has been around for bipolar disorder forever, but what else was there? That's what I want.
Valium. Didn't that come out in the 80s?
Good Quaaludes, obviously.
Yeah.
But that'll just knock you out. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really know what you do.
Yeah.
I don't
know. But I would assume there's something. I guess I didn't assume it was that new of a thing, but maybe it was. Maybe that wasn't available. Hey, if you're listening and you know the answer to this, let us know.
Yeah, that's going to be funny on our Facebook page. Hey, I got the answer to your pop quiz. It's Quaaludes.
It's Quaaludes.
It's Valium. And they're like, we got to listen to this shit. What are they talking about now?
Pam and her mommy issues. I really feel like if she doesn't get well first... Yeah, like if she doesn't get well first, she's going to be of absolutely no use to a child. Like you cannot
exactly.
You can't pour from an empty cup
to her husband, to anybody.
Exactly. She's
going to pass that on. She's going to do the opposite of her mom and become a helicopter mom, probably, right? And then just be like similar issue, or not similar, but also issues. Just figure your shit out before you have a kid.
Yeah, and I've heard this described like a different way. I always say you can't pour from an empty cup, but one of my friends described the same thing recently as like other people in other situations keep filling your cup and filling your cup and filling your cup, and then eventually it just spills over because there's nowhere else for it to go. And I was like, damn, that's a great like twist on that whole cup analogy.
It's a kid's book.
It is.
It's called being a bucket filler or whatever, because it was a big thing in my kids' school.
I did not know that, but that's wonderful. But yeah, Pam.
Because then we cut to Pam, and we cut to Vaughn. Just goes to JR's office to just, I think, like taunt him. I don't know. He's like, "Are you nervous?"
Vaughn.
JR's like, "No, I'm not nervous," but he is.
Vaughn's almost got that whole like twirly mustache kind of thing.
He is a cartoon character. He really is.
I think he should be like on Roger Rabbit.
Yep.
Oh my God, he kind of does look like Christopher Lloyd, doesn't he?
Did you guys watch the new Chip and Dale movie?
No.
Is it a cartoon?
It's basically like a sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I'll watch it.
Chip and Dale.
No, not Chip and Dale, Sarah, but Chip and Dale.
No, I meant like Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. Them.
Rescue Rangers. Oh my God, you guys just took me back in time. Thank you.
I said,
you should watch it. It's totally about them basically being like grown former celebrities from the cartoon, but it's basically in the same world as Who Framed Roger Rabbit. In fact, like, because they go into it because there's like live people and there's cartoons, and they goes to a club, and like MC Scat Cat from like the Paula Abdul videos there, and they talk about the Dip, which is from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and everything. It's really good. Yeah. And like so it's Chip and Dale. One of them had work done, so he's like computer animated, and the other one's still like
what
2D.
Is this on? I'm gonna watch it tonight.
So good. It's a movie. I'm not maybe Disney Plus.
I'm sure
I
have it. I have everything else. Fuck. Okay.
By the way, Hillside Strangler documentary.
Did you watch it alone? I did, and it was nighttime on my porch, and I was scared. But I already knew all that stuff, but it had more stuff. So then I watched the new John Wayne Gacy one, and it had a lot more stuff too.
Was that one on Hulu too?
No, that's on Netflix. It's a new one. They have like a lot of them. This one is a new one, and it pops up on there like a new.
I heard Netflix is gonna start offering an option with ads, and it might be a little cheaper. So.
The Sandman is so good. It is one of my favorite pieces of media that I've loved for 30 years, and they just have a show.
I heard,
and I just watched 2 episodes last night, and it's
what is that
amazing.
On Netflix? Oh, shit. I gotta write this shit down. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So good. It's Neil Gaiman. He did Good Omens.
Also, another one, Amazon Prime, they changed, you remember the IMDb TV? They changed it to Freevee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got Dallas, of course, and they've got Bones and all kinds of stuff.
Bones.
I love Bones.
That sounds horrible. I love Bones.
The only problem is there's commercials.
Yeah.
Like, if I could pay $2 a month to get rid of those commercials, I would. Which is why I actually bought Dallas on Vudu streaming. So I could just watch them on there.
That's awesome. Because you know what I noticed about our DVDs? Not, and this is big for me, not all of our DVDs have subtitles on them in English. And I love subtitles because sometimes, you know, I like to sit there and eat shit. And
oh my God, you're like my daughter. I turn on my Netflix and it has it because you go in there and change it on the account. So when then I turn it on here, I'm like, what the fuck? Who's deaf? And she's like, I did it.
Well, also, it's partially that because it's happening. Like, it is a genetic thing. I'm going to lose my hearing. I already know. But yeah, it's also because I don't know. It's easier for me to read and follow along. Sometimes the only thing that like pisses me off is when it doesn't keep up with the dialogue. Like it's either ahead or behind it.
Oh, right.
Pisses me off. Anyways, all right. Sorry. Let's get back on track.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So then we cut to Ray. He comes home to find out that Donna's book is going to be published. And that the guy who comes to tell her that is like, she's a phenomenal writer. She's just like, and it's just kind of like, Donna's good at everything she tries. And Ray's just like, okay. And I feel like he's trying to be happy for her, but he's jealous maybe or something.
He is.
And he also says she has great political insight. She's a great writer with great political insight. And at that same moment, the architect calls. It's like, hey, there's problems with the thing, and I need to talk to you about it.
Problems with the thing.
So, the thing, the whatever it is, the deal with building his thing, his whatever.
You're like, that thing.
I'm still tired. Words are hard. Yeah. And then we cut to Bobby is meeting Jeff Faraday again, and they exchange money for the canceled checks that Kristen got from the mysterious trust fund.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and Bobby's asking all these questions, like, where did it come from? Jeff's like, I don't know. Like, she was asking money. I didn't ask questions, you know? There's that. And then we cut to the Starlight Lounge where Afton is wearing the same dress as last episode with the like one.
The one that you like so much?
Arm.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, the one I liked.
So they haven't given her a good budget yet. Did she sing the same song too?
She's supposed to be, I mean, she's supposed to not have much money. So I'm guessing this is like her one really nice dress that she has bought. Or someone bought for her, maybe. And then JR comes and he's all like, hey, I want you to go on a trip to the Bahamas with Von Leland. And she's like, ugh, that guy's gross. I'm not going. And then he pulls out all the things like, yes, you are. Like, or do you want your recording contract? And she's like, I know that there's no recording contract. So I'm out. I'm not doing this. And Jared, he starts threatening her and like being physical, like grabbing her arm. And then Mitch comes up and then just punches him in the face.
Go, Mitch.
Good job. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. That's not trash, though. But yeah.
Woo. Yeah. And then, but this is trash. He says, there's a million tramps. I just have to go find myself a new one. And then she's just like, I'm really sorry this happened, Mitch, but I'm really happy you were here. Like, it's great to have a big brother. And he's like, are you kidding? Like, I've been wanting to punch him in the face for literal years at this point. So... and then we cut to Ewing Oil, where now we have met. Now there's a rando girl named Heather who's going to go to the Bahamas with Von Leland. Vaughn is like, cool, yeah, she's really pretty. I really love all this attention. But FYI, this isn't going to affect like you owing me money in 10 days. So bye.
So stupid.
Then Cattleman's Club. Cut to the Cattleman's Club where Ray meets O'Neill, the architect. And he tells him there's a high water table. And I have to mention that this guy has the exact same accent as George W. Bush. Same accent.
Well, I find it interesting, first of all.
He's supposed to be from Texas.
It makes sense. And I also find it interesting that, did you not have this land like surveyed or perked before you started building on it?
Well,
he didn't. That's the whole point. He
did not.
The guy's like, he's like gently like, hey, usually people have a survey beforehand before there's any money, just so this doesn't happen.
So is he just cutting corners, I guess?
Yeah. I think he just didn't think of it because he doesn't have enough experience. He didn't know because he's doing it for the first time by himself. So he didn't realize he had to do that. So he just didn't know. And he fucked up. And now it's going to be really expensive to do a lot more. I did not understand the things they said had to be done, but it's basically a lot more money. And Ray doesn't have the money. And so he doesn't know what to do. He's just like, hold off. Because he's like, are you out? And he's like, I don't know. Can we just like take a minute? And I'll try to figure it out. And so, yeah. Ray's feeling dumb. And is going to try to figure it out. And then we cut to another scene that I didn't catch what was happening. Bobby was trying to get a hold of someone.
It was like a filler scene.
Did anyone catch?
He was trying to get a hold of somebody in California about some of the paperwork that Jeff Faraday gave him. In what I wrote down, I just noticed it was the most cliche. That's a new word. There goes Sarah with her Cajun scat again.
I can't even help it. It just comes out. I cannot even help it.
No, like I know this damn word is cliche, and I said it wrong.
Did you just say clitoris? You did, didn't you?
That would have been better.
Anyway,
Bobby's calling about the clitoris.
I
can't. He's like, wait, how do you find that again? All right.
Look, y'all.
I want to know. Pam might be coming back soon.
It was the whole damn plot of a movie from South Park.
About a clitoris?
All right.
Yeah.
I just like to say the word. Goodness.
The meeting where he met Faraday was supposed to be, I wrote, the most cliche meeting ever. And I can't remember what I said just a minute ago, but that was not it.
But you meant cliche.
I meant cliche. Cliche. Is that what I said?
She said, she was doing the Afton. You're doing click, cliche.
Sacre bleu.
It sounds like a brand of clothes from the 80s. Like, now is cliche.
You almost said clit. She's cliche.
Cliche. Cover your clit.
Oh, God. My stomach hurts.
We cut to Lucy. She's driving in a South Fork as Miss Ellie's riding her bike back from getting the mail. And there's a big old envelope from Jock.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So then we cut to pre-dinner drinks where then Miss Ellie reads the letter from Jock, and the crux is that in his absence, because he doesn't know how long he's going to be there, and the phone's bad, so he's worried about the company, how the company's being run, because basically he doesn't trust JR on his own with him not being there to oversee it, and he didn't really trust Bobby either. So he's dividing the share. He had 100% of the Ewing Oil voting shares, and now he's dividing them this way. So Miss Ellie gets, out of 100, Miss Ellie gets 30. JR gets 20. Gary gets 10, which
kind
is
of a slap in the face.
What the fuck? Bobby gets 20. Ray gets 10, and John Ross gets 10. You know who get 0? It's fucking Lucy.
I would have given Lucy some before I gave it to
a baby.
To the baby, yeah, to John Ross.
I'm like what? They should have split that 5% John Ross, 5% Lucy. What the fuck, Jock?
Exactly. Drink.
Fucking goddamn bullshit. I'm so mad. And then JR is kind of like, great, thanks, Daddy, and gives him a little toast.
JR says, well, here's to Daddy and doing what's best for you.
And the next scene, Donna and Ellie discussed how this whole thing with the voting shares puts a lot of pressure on Ellie because she has the most, which is like surprising because she's like, I've always tried to like stay away from the business
She should have had
tried
the
not to
most,
have an
though.
opinion, but now she should have, yeah. But now I do, and she's also worried that now there's going to be a lot of competition in the family, which like, yeah, duh. But that's like setting up the rest of the series.
Yeah.
And Donna says that Ray kind of, like, he's honored that Jock included him, but also he kind of wants to be left out of that drama. And then Miss Ellie's worried about how Gary's going to react because he does not deal well with pressure, and so she's afraid to tell him.
Oh, my God.
How he's going to react.
Oh, he's not even there. Just, ugh.
Just take his shares. Don't tell him.
Right.
Just don't tell him at all.
Right.
Be like, oh, yeah, he
Like,
totally
totally
voted this way. Yeah.
So then the next scene, JR is making sure the books are looking okay. He has the accountant come in, and he's just like, because then that at the dinner the night before, they're like, oh yeah, because they're explaining like what this could mean. Like anybody can, if there's enough people think the president isn't doing a good job, like we could band together and kick him out.
But he's like,
or we could at any point demand to look at the accounting books. And JR's just like,
yeah, he's like, whoops.
So the next day he gets the accountant in and looks at them, and then he's like, so you do a great job. Have you taken vacation? He's like, yeah, in a couple weeks. He's like, how about you start that Monday? I'm gonna give you extra weeks off so you just leave now. Oh, and leave the books with me, okay?
He's such an asshole.
Right. Like, not suspect at all, not at all. Questionable as fuck.
Oh, another questionable ass motherfucker like Henry Ford. I'm sorry, I remember that whole rant I went into. Questionable ass motherfucker.
Well, Henry Ford? Well, yes. He is a very questionable ass motherfucker. There's so many things in Detroit named after Henry Ford too, and it's like, you guys gross.
Terrible. Terrible.
Terrible. Though the museum is actually pretty cool, but we should just give it a different name. So yeah, in Knots Landing, Gary finds out what happened because his mom calls him, and then can we talk about the dress Val's wearing? Did you guys notice anything weird about it?
She looks like she's in West Virginia and not in California.
Yeah.
There's that. But
she does that the whole time.
So I guess we couldn't see the whole dress. All we could see was that it's like white with like flowers on it. But then there's something like, I'm guessing it was a red print, right? Like here. But it just looked to me like she got her period, but in the front.
I have to go back and look now because I didn't even notice that.
What?
And I'm surprised I didn't.
It looked like,
oh my God.
It looked like a period leak to me because it was just like, I'm sure it was like a design, but you couldn't see. I just saw like right
she
here.
She didn't lean into something like on the countertop, did she?
On her crotchal area. Maybe.
You need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I'm going to go back when we hang up. I'm going to go back and look.
Joan Van Ark, did somebody not tell you what the fuck? That is terrible.
Right.
Terrible that nobody told you.
No, listen.
What?
Right.
They probably noticed it after the fact because the editors didn't care because she's just a girl that has an episode every once in a while.
Right.
I know.
Awful.
And she doesn't think that Gary should go to Dallas because, he is unpredictable when he's around his family.
Very much so.
But I think he decides to go. And then we cut to Afton going to visit Cliff in his new fancy office. She proposes to fuck over JR with her.
What do you know?
That makes me laugh. Ha 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 ha.
I know. Finally. Open your eyes, Afton. Finally.
And he's like suspicious, but he's also like
suspicious.
Listening. He's like, okay. All right. Then we cut to Bobby and Pam walking hand to hand on the grounds of Brooktree.
How romantic.
And then she... how romantic.
Give me your hand, you crazy lunatic.
Walking in the grounds of the mental
Go
hospital.
touch some grass. Literally.
Yes, literally. Let's take off our shoes and feel the earth. Yes.
Jesus.
And she's all like, I realized I never really knew myself very well. And it's like, well, okay. Well, good you are now. Maybe therapy's starting to work.
Who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it's a good thing to do when you're in your 30s now. Okay. All right. Cool. It's never too late.
It is if you're a lunatic.
And then she's...
Sorry, I was kidding.
I'm a lunatic. You find myself in my 30s.
I was about to say that I'd be canceled out.
You're canceled, Sarah. Goodbye.
I know.
Yeah, we're canceling you.
I know.
She wants to come home, and Bobby's like, slow down a little bit.
So has it said?
Like, I feel like
has it said how long she's been there? Like as of this episode, I was trying to figure it out, but you can't tell. You don't know.
You can't really tell, but I feel like it's been a couple weeks. You know, at least a few weeks. She's been there a while.
That's why she wants to come home.
I know. And she always talks about, like, well, when I was on the roof, I didn't really know what was happening.
She remembers.
I'm fine now. And it's like, I don't think
if you can
that's,
say
like,
that,
as
you're
good as
not
you
fine
think
right now.
The fact that you remember that you were on the roof.
Yeah.
Wow. First of all, boom.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Was it like an out-of-body experience? What was happening? I mean, she said that so casually. When I was on the roof.
Yeah, she's nut.
What? Math's not mathin'.
So then she starts asking about the adoption agencies, and I okay, like, I feel, wasn't she really against adopting last year? If she had been about it last year, they could have a kid by now, like legit have a kid.
She this is terrible, but she broke her own heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really did. She did break her own heart.
Because, I mean, the weight, what would the weight be now? Nothing. Like you said, nothing. They would probably have a child. And because they're Ewings, they definitely have a child by now.
Right. They would have had. Yeah. They would have got put on. They said it's like an 18-month to 2-year wait list, which they're Ewing. So I'm sure they would have been considered a little bit quicker than that. So, yeah, they would totally have a kid or almost have a kid by this point. If they had just added their name to the list, you know?
But
I wonder if that is one of the things that Bobby should have done without Pam.
Well, could he though?
That's
you
right.
know?
Well, I mean, Sue Ellen,
because
Sue Ellen tried to adopt a kid without JR.
She did, and they wouldn't let her. That's why she had an illegal. She was trying to
that was Black Market Baby or something, wasn't it? No, that was this thing. No,
black.
No,
that was Black Market Baby.
That's right. But at the same time, I'm wondering.
Natalia Balsam.
I'm wondering though, because it's Bobby Ewing and he's the misogynistic. Because he's the man. If they would have made an exception,
right?
Especially back then, but probably not. I don't know.
I know.
I don't know. Yeah. But then they start thinking about baby names, and they're like, "What about Bobby James or Pamela Jean or Rebecca?" Which just is a little. I mean, no spoilers, but that is very funny thinking about the new series.
Not very coincidental,
considering the kid they actually do have, and anyway. And then we cut to Ray goes to the bank to see if he can borrow $3 million.
Sure, Ray.
And I love the little computer they have just sitting there, and he literally just reaches his hand over and presses 3 buttons, goes boop, 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 and he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, you totally can, because look at all the collateral you have in the bank." And then he's like, these are people who didn't know how computers worked. You can tell. And then he's like, "Oh, I want to do it without Donna, though. I want to do my own cash." And it's like, "Oh, well,
that cash is Donna's."
The loan committee meets like tomorrow, so I'll have to get back to you." So,
I mean, he should just told her. Should just talk to her.
Right, he should have just told her and then been like, "Hey, what should we do now? Person who seems to be good at everything they do. What would you recommend? Can we talk about it together?"
Like,
yeah.
Male ego.
Because isn't they're supposed to be in it together?
It's the male ego.
I thought you said male ego.
I thought you did too. I was like,
okay. Yes,
they were supposed to be in this one together, I think.
They were supposed to. This was their deal together, right? So why the fuck, Ray? Jesus, stop! Just stop all of it. Ugh. Anyway, so then we cut to Cliff and Afton at lunch because she wanted to leave the office because she didn't buy that it wasn't being bugged or something. So actually, I don't even think she thought of that. I think she just wanted to go to lunch with him. And then he's like, "Oh, do you think it's being bugged?" And she's like, "What? Well, I don't know." So then they go to lunch. So she gives him the lowdown on the Von Leeuwen situation. She's like, straight up, that he wanted me to get with this guy. He's gross. I thought that I could go all the way and I'd do anything, but it turns out that I can't. And then she gets like really honest with Cliff. Like she's like, "I need things in this world. I thought JR could give them to me. And I thought I would do anything to get those, but it turns out I have standards. So I'm not going to do that.
And I know it's kind of goes on and gets worse as the series goes on, but like Cliff starts to not fall for tricks anymore. Well, not all of them. He's suspicious. Like if she came to me and said all that, I'd be like, he sent you here. And you would think that Cliff would automatically think it was all a big plan, but he doesn't act like that.
Yeah. And mostly since the last time, like, that's what happened. But,
so why would you just like automatically trust her? I don't
know.
There's something about her.
I guess it's like they have a connection or something. Yeah. And then they have a toast.
Did you snort?
Yeah, I did.
To good.
I didn't mean to.
That's great.
To good endings and bad beginnings. To good endings and bad beginnings.
What about bad endings and good beginnings? I don't know. I like that one better. I like yours better.
Because they had a bad beginning. So then, oh my God. So we're cutting to Dusty, who's having a Sunset Boulevard moment again while he's watching his old rodeo.
Watching those horses.
Old rodeoing movies. Yeah. And then, and Sue Ellen's just standing there behind him watching them. Yeah. It's so weird. And then JR calls and wants to meet with Dusty. And then Dusty's like, hell no, I'm not meeting with you. And then he's like, we need to meet. And he's like, all right, we'll do it. And it just, to me, sounds like they're going to have a duel or something.
A duel?
Yeah.
Get outside, you fucker. Get your cane and meet me out front.
Yeah.
And Sue Ellen's like, it's like Sue Ellen knew. She was like, who was that? And Dusty's like, somebody I have unfinished business with.
Which should make it pretty obvious who the fuck it was. And so then Donna gets the mail the next day and gets a $50 check from her book. And Ray's just mopey. He's Mr. Mopey Mope.
Because he just fucked up and he won't tell his wife.
And she's got $50,000. Like, ask her for the money.
He's too proud.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Being a man.
Drink the stupid men. Drink the stupid men.
So
do I have to?
Let's drink stupid men.
To stupid men.
Yes. To stupid men. Oh, we cut to Bobby, and he has decided not to run for re-election, which is kind of good because I feel like nobody cares about you being a politician, Bobby.
I wish a lot of people would come to that realization and not run again.
Oh my God, right? So many people, for the love of God. Right? And then Afton invites Vaughn to a meeting, and then surprise guest, Cliff. He just pops out. And Vaughn gets kind of mad, and then they're like, but we want to all fuck over JR together. And then he's just like, well, maybe that's a good idea.
Oh yeah, that was so funny. He's like, you don't know me, but I know you, and maybe you've heard of me.
They want to try to get him.
Maybe, right? And he's like, useful to their plan. They need someone with a twirly mustache to fulfill their trio. So the next scene is just, it's a little too extra for me. They meet at the Cotton Bowl, which I don't know. I'm guessing that's where the big football team ends.
It's a big football game.
Sports ball. Yep.
Play. I'm assuming
this is
so that's where JR and Dusty
Mary,
meet.
this is a duel. They are showing up in their respective helicopters on this field, basically being like, whose dick is bigger.
Yeah. Big dick energy.
That is what they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, that is what they are doing.
JR's like, I'm renting out the Cotton Bowl so we can have a duel. Like, we're going to meet there. And then Dusty's like, well, yeah, I'm going to fly my helicopter the fuck into it. And JR's just like, you're bringing your helicopter then? And Dusty's like, fuck yeah. And Dusty does not have his cane. He does not. He just kind of hangs on to his leg as he saunters out onto the field. Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'm just like, I feel like I don't know a lot about
my legs
football,
getting better and my dick's getting harder.
I feel like a helicopter can't be good for it.
Shit.
Seems like that would be a no-go.
They would not let you land on that. If they did, you are going to be a rich motherfucker, so you can throw money at them to come out and resod the whole field.
Especially in the South. Absolutely.
Right.
No, ma'am.
Which
no,
Dusty
ma'am.
was probably like, fuck it, fine. I'll pay for it to get resodded just so I can fly my helicopter in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. Nope, you're done.
And there goes their budget for the rest of the season.
I mean,
they wear shitty clothes
for
the
you
rest of the season.
Dallas, though. They probably
No
let
more
them.
shoulder pads for you, Sue Ellen.
They probably did. We had to pay for
Seriously.
resodding. God.
Mary, that's what happened. That's why Afton wore a dress 2 weeks in a row. Because fuck you, we had to bring the helicopter in, you whore bag.
And so then they just start having like a taunt about Sue Ellen, and JR is basically like, she's gonna, like, he calls her like basically a necrophiliac because of her like increased.
No, a nymphomaniac, not a necrophiliac.
That's what I meant. Oh my God, You're so right.
What?
Let her Google it. Let her Google it.
Wait, okay, hold on. I know what that. I've heard it before.
I know,
but
and I said necrophiliac, which means she likes to have sex with dead people.
You instead of saying a nymphomaniac.
I have nymphomaniac written down. I said it is.
Yes, okay.
I would put that up there, but
I mean, poor
maybe
Dusty's
that's a
dick
kinky
might
thing.
be
I don't
dead
know.
right now, but
see,
Not
it
for
could have
me.
worked, maybe. Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway.
Oh my.
Yes.
So she is a necrophiliac.
Jared's all of a sudden like
penis.
playing up her sexuality.
She's
like
a
she
penis
has a crazy
necrophiliac.
sex drive. Like we were always fucking. I was like, no, you weren't, JR. Like, what are you talking? What are you talking about?
he's like, we were always fucking and we were enjoying it very much. She was always out looking for more. I'm like, the fuck she was. She wanted you to come home and fuck her, and you wouldn't.
And like,
because you're an idiot,
a complete idiot. And I feel like Dusty knows that. So Dusty must know the entire backstory.
Yeah.
So he's like, you're just being stupid.
He was like, you're disgusting.
You're disgusting, whatever.
He was like, you're disgusting, man.
And then he's
whatever.
like, oh yeah, would you like a list of her Sue Ellen's lovers? And he's like, no, I don't need a list.
It's like, who's the one that JR knows about? Cliff Barnes and him.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think
Boom.
that is it.
Two whole
I think
people.
that was it.
Yeah. One night with Ray.
He didn't know about Ray. He didn't know about Ray.
He didn't know about
Ray.
Ray. That's not a list of lovers, man.
I know that happened. I remember it, but that was the very, very beginning. Like, did it really happen, or was it just implied?
No,
like they just made out for a while, and then she was embarrassed the next day, or did they go fuck?
They fucked,
and then she was really embarrassed the next day.
I feel like they heavily implied that they fucked. I mean, they could have just made out.
because it was very
but,
like, yeah.
That's
so fucking weird.
Well, she was also
everybody's fucked Ray.
She was also. What really bothers me now thinking about it is that Sue Ellen was very, very intoxicated, and Ray knew she was vulnerable, and he fucked her anyway.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
Back to the late 70s, early 80s, and Quaaludes. Here we go.
And they're like, consent? What's consent?
She said okay, and then put her head on my shoulder and rolled her eyes back in her head. Of course she said yes.
You got anything to drink at your place, Ray? Excuse me, Ms. Ewing, you don't need any more to drink. Why don't you go back to bed?
Yeah.
But here's a glass of water with some Quaaludes in it.
Right. That would have been the thing to do.
Jesus.
Ugh.
Anyway.
And then the low point where he's like, oh, maybe, because he's like, she's fine staying at Southern Cross. Like, she's more than happy. And then he's like, oh, well, she's staying because she is getting some. I've seen that dad of yours. Like, ooh, like
that's
he's
creepy as fuck. I'm reading this quote right now. That's creepy as fuck.
Yeah. And like, oh, so she's probably getting some from him. And he's just like, and that gets to him for some reason.
Yeah. I would have probably said
Dusty's
Bobby.
like, no.
You know, I would have probably, that's weird to like say she's fucking your daddy.
Your dad, I know, right? But JR doesn't care.
Apparently it was a big deal.
He's just throwing shit to see what sticks and bugs him, I guess. And then he just,
you know what's even crazier is, spoiler, next season.
I know, right?
I know, I forgot about that, and it popped in my head like last week for some reason. I know, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
It's like you...
Right.
Dude.
Isn't that it's very awkward.
It is awkward. Yeah. It was...
I know.
fucking weirdest quote. It says, I've seen your daddy. Maybe she's staying with you because she's not going without it. And there's only one person that's man enough to keep that lady happy on Southern Cross. And that sure as hell ain't you.
And I ended that with, you sit on a throne of lies.
That's the perfect
What the fuck?
Perfect way to end it. Mic drop. Oh, and then it's a freeze frame, Dusty, not JR. That means we have to drink twice because it's not JR, which is weird. So
No, yeah. Drink twice. And I have to say something. Okay. So before we do our closing thing.
yes.
This is backtracking, but I didn't want to interrupt earlier. But when the Pam and Bobby scene at the Looney Tune place.
Yeah.
What fucking court would give a baby to an emotionally unstable woman with suicidal tendencies now, then, or ever? Pamela inspired the lunatic developments in Dynasty later on. Boring old Bob, Looney Tune Pam, and that poor baby. Bring back Kristen. She was more fun.
That's good.
I think this is where it's kind of going downhill for Pam, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Because I liked her at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, I loved her.
She was feisty. She's lost some of her
I really
spark.
liked her at the beginning. That's the thing, because when I was watching it originally as a kid, I started watching starting season 6, like the end of season 6, and I was always like, Pam, I never really liked Pam that much. So when I, in high school, rewatched it from the beginning, I was like, oh,
that's exactly
Pam.
what I did.
Weird. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, she kind of sucks. All right, never mind.
Yeah, it was like on TNT or something, or TNN or TNT.
TNN, and before that was on it was on
or TNT or something.
It was on TNT in the 92, and then like 93, no, 97, like later in the 90s, it was on TNN.
That's when I watched it again for the second time, like in total, because I was a senior. I had graduated, and it was the summer, and I started a new job, and we had like a workroom. I could go in there, and I watched it for like 3 hours.
It was 91 because it was right after Dallas ended. They started replaying it, and that's when because I was like a sophomore in high school watching it.
So crazy. Yeah. All right.
So I give this like 4.3 bourbons and some goddamn shares of Ewing Oil stock for Lucy.
Well, damn it. Okay, well, I go lower. I gave this a 4.0, and that's pretty low for me. I just didn't like it. I just not one of my favorite ones. Yeah. It's just kind of like a blah. Yeah. All right, 4.15, but that's it. And then I was going to say the shares for, well, I was going to say Ewing shares, but that was even better what you said. So now I'm going to say a loan application for Ray by himself.
Great. Nice.
4.75 and a well choreographed helicopter ride into the Cotton Bowl.
I gave it 4.25 and one mighty hobble.
Oh, it's good. Without the cane.
Just dragging the pant leg.
Yep.
My alternate was a sexual washout. I will give you 4.25 and a sexual washout.
Oh, my God. And a necrophiliac. All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight when it was just us girls. We appreciate you tuning in. And although I have cut in a few of Josh's reviews and some little clips of him today, he sent me a file that is over 45 minutes. So if you would like to check that out and listen to Josh's full review of this episode, please head over to patreon.com/EwingBBQ. And you'll see that there for free. So even if you're not a subscriber, you don't have to. That's just free, and that's just our place to put that. So please head on over. And we will check you next time. Until then, bye.
Bye, y'all.
I need to know what that word was. Was it cliche?
Cliche.
I know it's supposed to be cliche, but I did not say it like that.
A cliche necrophiliac. That's our answer this week.
It's a new fragrance by Dallas. Clitoris necrophiliac.
Clitoris necrophiliac. Oh my God.
It's clitoris necrophiliac. Toilette. There you go. That's it.
I'm gonna pee myself.
I'm gonna take a new bottle and put it on.
Nice.
shit.
Next on Dallas.
We now hold your note.
Why?
So we'd be the ones to foreclose on you.
I either need more money or I'm going to take the kid and head back to California.
How much do you want?
A couple of thousand.
I mean for the boy.
25,000.
How long can you afford to hold 5 million barrels?
I ask you here to do business.
Then you best face realities. Your oil is worth less every day you sit on it.
I'm going to pay off that loan.
You're a dead man, JR. And I'm the head pallbearer.